Good morning, YouTubians. It's Kermit's Ghost, and today I am reviewing number 13 on the cult movie poster. The film is from 2004, directed by Jared Hess, and it is none other than Napoleon Dynamite. I'll pop the kettle on, get a cup of tea going and a biscuit, and then we'll see what this is all about. So when this film was released, it was quite an unknown cast. You have Napoleon Dynamite, played by John Heder. He was 27 years old, by the way, when he made this film. Pedro, his friend, is played by Efren Ramirez. Kip is played by Aaron Rule. Deb is played by Tina Majorino. Uncle Rico is played by John Grise. And Grandma is played by Sandy Martin. So the film follows a high school student called Napoleon Dynamite. What a great name that is. He is your typical teenager. He's walking around like he's half asleep. He's got that look on his face. He's always eating. He's socially awkward, and he's got odd dress sense. He's got these jeans and a t-shirt tucked in with these great big black foam boots that he always wears no matter what. I mean, I could talk about dress sense. I look like an extra from The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas. Anyway, he lives at home with his nan and his brother Kip. His brother Kip's like 30 years old. Now, they live in like open field country. It's great big areas of nothing, hills and just fields everywhere. And they got a pet llama called Tina as well, which Napoleon always has to feed. So he's at school one day and a new student turns up called Pedro. And Pedro's pretty much the same as Napoleon. A bit socially awkward, so they make friends, and Napoleon shows him the ropes. Now later on in the film, Napoleon's nan goes away for a couple of weeks on holiday and leaves the two boys at home because they're old enough to look after themselves, or so you would think. Whilst away, the nan is a bit of an adrenaline junkie, and she gets into an accident with a quad bike and she's laid up in hospital, and this is when she calls Uncle Rico to come and look after the two boys, Napoleon and Kip, despite Kip being 30 years old. Now, Uncle Rico is quite the character. He turns up to look after the boy. He turns up in this orangey van, which I'm pretty sure he's living in. And he's a bit of a wheeler and dealer. And he's obsessed with the year 1982. Yeah, I think that's when he peaked at high school. And he wants to return there. So he buys a time machine. Obviously, it doesn't work. But he buys a time machine off the internet to return to 1982, which Napoleon tries out and electrocutes himself. So there's a school dance coming up, and Napoleon and Pedro have to find themselves dates. And Pedro's got a little bit more game than Napoleon. He bakes a cake, puts an invite in, and gives it to the prettiest girl in the year, who says no. So he turns his attentions on a girl called Deb, who they both know. She takes photographs for a studio, sells things door to door. She says yes. So and that puts Napoleon's nose out of joint a little bit because he had his eyes set on her himself. Anyway, Napoleon asks another girl out with the help of this god-awful picture that he draws for her of her. Like, it's a portrait of this girl that he's asking out, and it is awful. I'll try and get a picture up if I can. She says yes, a bit of pressure from her mother, and they all go to the dance. And this is where Pedro sees a poster up for people to apply to become the president of the class or the year. I'm not sure what it is, but he decides he's going to be school president or class president. And that is where I'm going to leave the story. So what did I think of Napoleon Dynamite? Well, this is one of those films you're either going to love or hate. There's not a great deal of plot. I mean, it's just following a couple of kids through high school, and not a lot really goes on. But the performances, the settings, I can't tell what year this was set. It's got like 90s technology, early 90s technology. They're dressing like they're in the 70s. They want to go back to the 80s, so you know it's past the 80s. Yeah, filmed in 2004. I'm going to say early 90s, but it's just like, it's really odd. You can't put a time frame on it, and it makes it kind of timeless as well. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I thought the performances were great. as I say, not a lot of story, but it doesn't matter because the performances shone through. I'm going to give this film 8.5 out of 10. So do you agree with my thoughts on Napoleon Dynamite? Have you seen it? Do you want to see it? Leave a comment down below. I will get back to you, I promise. Give it a thumbs up. That helps the channel. And subscribe if you haven't. It's all free. Why wouldn't you? Well, that was number 13 in the cult movie poster. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.